Oh, we are live here on the Calcio Connection, connecting with you, Italian football fans from all over the world. And we actually have a player with us this time around. No more talking to these schlub media members and these fans, these supporters. We have the privilege, Jerry and I, of being joined by Kelly Chiavaro, goalkeeper from Napoli Femminile. So happy to have a player on. And I know for you, Kelly, playing in Naples, playing with Napoli, this is a lifelong dream for you to play in Italy. How did that feel, and when did it happen that that dream became a reality for you?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. So happy to get to talk to you guys. I mean, the whole experience has been surreal. Just to get the opportunity to be here. I don't think even Napoli and the coaches understand how grateful I am. I've never I never thought this would actually come true, and for it to happen like this is awesome. I think it all really came to pieces, and everything worked out well this summer. For me, I've been trying for my whole life I wanted to play professional soccer and to play in Europe, especially like having an Italian background. I always knew that I wanted to be in Italy. And so that, the fact that I actually get to play here is just surreal. And I always, me and an American friend of mine, we always say, like, even on bad days, like, we are living in Italy. Like, this is so cool. Not a lot of people have the opportunity to do this. And it's so surreal to actually be living my dream.
And I'm guessing you grew up, watching Italian soccer. Did you grow up an Azzurri fan? And was there like a Serie A club you rooted for when you were growing up?
Yeah, me and my family, we always watched the Italian national team play, women's, men's, either or. I tried to watch as many games as I could. Especially, I would say the women's team. I tried to, I really wanted to play on the national team, and I still do. And so for me, it was super important to be familiar with the players, how they play, and just how they're growing as a team. That definitely was, a huge part of me growing up and watching the national team. But I would say, just simply because I'm a huge Buffon fan, Juventus was definitely my team, which, you kind of have to be careful here because a lot of people hate Juventus.
You have to be careful around Jerry and I as well. I mean, I'm an Interista, he's a Laziale.
Yeah, I've kind of learned that if, you're either a diehard Juventus fan or you hate them. So you really have to be careful who you say
to. So here's a question. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna add, like, most of my teammates are Inter fans, and so you really, really have to be careful around them.
Okay, now I'm starting to like your teammates even more.
Inter fan. My dad's an Inter fan. That's the funny part too. Yeah.
Our whole staff, everyone, they're all Inter fans.
Oh wow, no one's a Napoli fan, eh?
I mean, we definitely have Napoli fans, but we don't have many girls that are actually from Naples, so I would say that would make somewhat some sense.
So here's a question then. Let's compare and contrast. Now, you said you're a Buffon fan. Bias aside, who do you think is a better goalkeeper at the age of Gigi Donnarumma? Would you think that Donnarumma is a better goalkeeper or Buffon? And you being yourself a goalkeeper as well can give a good perspective on this. I'm just curious. I'll make it easier for you. I think Buffon is a better goalkeeper. Not because you're a fan. I just, growing up, I thought that Buffon overall, I don't look at stats. I just think that the way Buffon plays the game is much more simplified, and he's just more technical and more, he makes those key saves when we needed him the most.
Yeah, so I think, one of the first things you realize when you watch Donnarumma is that he has insane physical abilities. He's, raises his hands and touches the crossbar, and like many other goalkeepers, but he's just so explosive and, just physically just perfect for the position. And so that's something that definitely helps him a lot. And, he's done amazing. I think he's an outstanding goalkeeper. But again, like you just said, like Buffon, his technique is amazing, and he might not have been, have the physique of a typical goalkeeper, but, you look at the goalkeeper from Switzerland, and I am blanking on his name. He did really well at the World Cup, and everyone was talking about him. How he, didn't have the physical abilities, I would say, like that most goalkeepers have. Like, he wasn't that tall, he wasn't that explosive, but he did so well, and his technique was so good that he was able to, outperform these other goalkeepers. And I think that's kind of what happened with Buffon, where he's just so technically sound that, for me at least, he's still the best.
So beyond it, and Buffon, I mean, he could still play even at his age. I mean, beyond Buffon, like anyone else, men or women, who stand out to you that say, "Wow, this is one of the most incredible keepers in the world."
So I just remembered the name of the Switzerland goalkeeper. It's Samed. I think
Yes.
he's
Right.
an outstanding goalkeeper. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think he's a really outstanding goalkeeper. I think, he surprised everyone at the World Cup, and I kind of relate to him because I'm not the tallest. I'm, barely 5'7", and I'm not super tall and slim and all of that. So I always, struggled with that because in the United States, they always look for tall goalkeepers, and to have someone like him who maybe didn't fit those criteria but still like performed so well and surprised everyone, I really like him. But you look at all the goalkeepers on the top teams, Courtois and even Lloris in France. They're all amazing goalkeepers.
And coming up as a goalkeeper, like it's such an art form, and it's such a specialized position, obviously, compared to everything in the outfield. So, like, how young were you? Like, did you start as a keeper, or were you playing soccer and you kind of figure out maybe this is the best spot for me? Like, at what point did you start to specialize in that?
I was much younger, so when I actually decided I wanted to be a goalkeeper, I was 10 years old. It was at a point where as a kid, you always rotate every half who the goalkeeper is. And I ended up going in goal and stopping a penalty kick. And I just remember
nice.
that feeling after. I was like, this is so cool, and it was all luck. Like I remember so well, I closed my eyes, picked a side, and I didn't even dive. I just put my hands to one side and stopped it. And, my dad was a coach then, was my coach, and he was so happy. And that was the summer. It was the end of the summer at a tournament, and that's when I decided that I wanted to be a goalkeeper. And so that winter season, I was in goal the whole time, and it was my first time. And that's when I started doing, goalkeeper lessons and with my club team. And that's when I really decided that I wanted to be a goalkeeper. But I'm also a goalkeeper who, one of my strong aspects is my footwork. With the ball at my feet, because I love playing as a field player. So, during practice, you put me in a possession drill, they need an extra player for, a passing drill, anything really. Like, I'm the first one to be like, I want to go in, I want to score some goals. And so I really like playing with my feet as well. So I'm sure, sometimes I wonder, like, what kind of player would I be if I stayed as a field player? But I absolutely love being a goalkeeper. It's so different.
Now, something I've been dying to ask a pro keeper about this, because you got me thinking when you talked about as a child stopping a penalty. I am so fascinated by the process of a professional keeper facing a penalty shot. Like, what goes through your mind? Like, how much of it, when you're going up against a PK, how much of it is just, okay, I need to guess and make a decisive guess and hopefully get a little bit lucky here? Or how much are you reading the eyes of the shooter? And like, and it all comes down to a split second, but how much of that is you making the split second judgment, or do you decide beforehand what way you're going to go?
Yeah, there are definitely different ways to go about, saving a penalty kick, or at least trying to save a penalty kick. I think the way that I approach penalty kicks now are much different than what they were in college. In college, I looked a lot at, let's say, the arm movement, or, how she places herself. But I also picked a side and went with my instinct. But now, that I have an amazing goalkeeper coach, we look a lot prior to games at which players take what kicks and how they kick and all of that stuff. And so now it's, there's a lot more thinking going into saving a penalty kick. And so, like, if the girl is looking right at you the whole time, she's likely waiting to see what side you, like, if you take a little step one way and she'll go the other way. Whereas if someone's not looking at the goalkeeper and is, really just focused on one side, then, more likely or not, you're going to have to just pick a side and go really hard for it. But again, like, it varies with the players. It varies between men and women. It's entirely different. You put a man in front of me, they're probably just going to kick it as hard as they can or something. And then it's just different.
I need to apologize on behalf of me and Alex, because congratulations on making your first start.
Yes.
This past weekend.
So true.
In Coppa Italia. I think this is a massive, like, achievement. I don't care anyone. Like, congratulations, because I me, if I ever thought ever playing in sports professional, I don't think I can ever make it to that level. I doubt myself easily, but congratulations.
The Nutella was your downfall,
yeah,
Jerry.
yeah,
It's all
Nutella
because
was
of
the
the
downfall
Nutella.
for real. But down for real. But I want to ask you, what was the experience like being in that game, and you earned yourself a very crucial 1-1 draw, and I think that can come a long way into the group stage. And I know that it's kind of different to Coppa Italia when it comes to women's football as opposed to the Serie A men's. So maybe you can elaborate and just tell us what was it like.
I mean, it was a surreal experience. It was my first game, in Italy, my first pro game in Europe. And I've been working really hard to get this first game. And so I knew a little bit ahead of time that I was playing this game, and that I would be playing, the other Coppa Italian games for sure. And so it was nice to, have that heads up because, I mean, there was an instance against AC Milan where, the goalkeeper was, our other goalkeeper, Yolanda, was, feeling a little bit off. She had some sort of injury, and I started warming up as well, just, to be sure that I was ready to go in if she couldn't start the game. But, the whole time I've been here, I've wanted to play. I came here to play at the end of the day. I didn't come here to sit on the bench all season. That's just how it is. I think this job wouldn't be for me if that's what I came here to do. And so I'm working really hard, and I'm improving a lot. And obviously I want to play more games. And so just to get this start and to get, that feel, just to be on the field and see how that feels like. I haven't played a game since, I think it was probably beginning of May, my last game in Israel. And so just to be on the field and to see how, the movement and see how playing with other players and to just get back into it was awesome. I definitely took a lot from the game, and I'm excited to be able to be on the field again because now I feel more confident. Those first game nerves are gone. I did it. I got out there. I played my first game, so ready to roll now.
And what is your relationship like with Yolanda? I'm not going to say her last name because I'll probably butcher it, but
No, I have a great relationship with I call her Yoli. It's been awesome. I'm always someone who, in the past have been close to other goalkeepers I've worked with because at the end of the day, we spend so much time together. I spent more time with Yoli than I spend with, most of my teammates because we are always together and we're always training together. But obviously there's competition between us. I think that's important to have. And I think that's what makes both of us better because she knows, I'm right on her and I'm right on her tail and she can't afford herself to be complacent and, to have bad practices and to just not be present because I'm right there. And obviously she wants to play. We both want to play. And so there's a healthy competition there. And it's nice because at the end of the day, we're also very good friends off the field and we really got to know each other and be there for each other. And so we're really able to, once we get off of the field and we're in the locker room and we're together in the houses and things like that, we really are able to build our friendship as well. And so I think that's really important just as human beings to be able, to learn about people and to get to know them and to see what their life is and, what they're about. And so it's really cool. And I'm really happy that I get this opportunity and that Yoli is similar to me in that sense, because if I were in a situation where the other goalkeeper, we didn't have a good relationship, I think it would be very toxic and very hard because then the quality of the training just isn't good. I need Yoli to give me good distribution for me to work hard. I need her, to do well when I'm in the goal and when we do a rotation, because or else I can't work well. It's the same for her. She needs me to do well and to give her good balls and good distribution or else she can improve. So that's really important.
I want to say hello to some great folks who are in the live chat. Mass, Cliff, Mario Galliano, who's the #1 Napoli fan. I think this question from Cliff is an interesting one. I'm really curious about this. I know you're living your dream playing in Italy. Cliff asks, how is the lifestyle in Napoli? Is it one that's conducive with the life of a footballer? How do you balance everything? I mean, what is it like? I mean, you're living in, and obviously your ancestry is from that country, so it's a huge dream, and you've got dual citizenship, but it's still it's a bit of a certain different culture, different to live there. So what's that been like for you so far?
Absolutely, it's been. I mean, for me, it wasn't that hard to adjust. I think I'm someone who's very, open. I've traveled a lot. I love learning about other cultures. At some point I wanted to travel to every single country in the world. I don't think that's realistic considering, certain situations in certain countries.
And also just how many
But
countries
I
there are,
think
it'd
it's
be tough.
fascinating to. Yeah, I mean that too, but I have a whole life, so I can get there somehow. No, but I've always been someone who's been super passionate about, learning about people, learning about different cultures, religions, and all of these things. And it doesn't change, playing soccer. Like that gives me the opportunity to see different cultures. Now, where it was a little bit easier for me is because my grandmother, she only speaks Italian. She's when you go to her house, you're basically in Italy. So for me, like coming here I had a little bit of like, it was similar. I had a little bit of familiarity with the situation, so it was awesome. It definitely helped me, but being so excited to come here made it so easy to adjust because, like I said, this was a dream come true. So when I got off the plane, I was like, this is it. Like, I'm in Italy. I've waited my whole life to be here. Like, this is just going to be amazing. But living in Napoli, we're right outside of Napoli. We're in Nola. I just worked out this way this year. I think last year the girls were living on the beach pretty much. And, some of the players thought it wasn't maybe the most professional environment and it would be better to be closer to the field and things like that. So now we're in another city. We're in Nola. But it's been really nice, because we're super close to Napoli, so we can go whenever we want. It's a really quick drive. And so we got to visit. We go there for dinner and things like that. But it's been easy to balance everything because everyone's super mature and everyone wants to be here to play soccer. So it's not difficult at all to just be able to balance everything. And we definitely take advantage of our days off to, visit and do different things.
And you are such a professional. I feel bad even like giving you the temptation because I know you're in training all the time. But how hard is it to eat right? Okay, because in Naples, the best pizza in the world, some of the best pasta in the world. If I were a professional athlete and I went to live there, I would probably eat myself out of the league within the matter of a few months. So you have to resist so much temptation. But if you're ever able to allow yourself some cheat days, what are some of your favorites?
We definitely allow ourselves our cheat days. We train so much and, we all have meal plans and, I came here and I have a nutritionist from home that I follow and we continue to talk all the time and we just check in with some things because, for instance, now I'm training more and I'm losing a lot of weight. And we're trying to like maintain my weight rather than me keep losing because, I can't just keep losing and losing weight. So I have the privilege, to be able to go and have that pizza. And she's like, have to if you need to. So I can't complain in this situation like that. I went for a pizza 2 days ago, actually. We have a really good place right by our house. And me and a couple girls from Argentina went and had a pizza and it was a great pizza. But, when we went to Rome, we definitely, tried the carbonara, tried the cacio and pepe. We tried to, we went to, I went to one of my teammates' house in Ferrara, and they had pandini, I believe it's called, that comes from there. And so we tried that, and it's really nice to be able to try, all the local foods. I have to say the pizza is amazing here, so I'm happy that I get to eat it whenever I want.
And do you have a favorite type of pasta?
No, I don't actually have a favorite type of pasta. I'm a very picky eater, and if there's something I'm not picky with, it's definitely pasta.
Do you like curly pasta or do you like straight cut?
What do you mean by that?
Oh, I think he means like the shape of the pasta, like penne, pasta. Spaghetti.
What do you prefer more? If you had to choose between the two.
Right now, I've been eating a lot of rainbow pasta, but a good spaghetti is always good. Penne is, I really can't even decide. I love penne. I love all the pasta.
Okay. Now you mentioned with some things you can be a picky eater. Is that like a seafood thing? Because I know something that always happens, like when Americans go over to Italy, they're always expecting it to be like, the place in their town where it's like chicken parmesan and all that. And then they're like surprised, like it's a lot of seafood in Italy, and Naples is a big seafood city. Are you a seafood fan?
No, this has been a problem because my team loves seafood, and I have to say I dislike seafood. All I eat is salmon. I don't, even when I go to sushi, I get cooked fish and chicken sushi, which is awful. I get made fun of all the time. But we went to a lot of restaurants by the water, and they looks amazing. I don't like the texture of seafood. I'm really not a fan, but the girls love it. We go often to seafood restaurants, and it seems to be amazing. Like, I'm sure when my family comes, they're gonna love it because they love seafood. But I was really surprised with like there being so much seafood places and restaurants and just beautiful places here. It looks amazing, just maybe not for me.
Yeah, it's one thing. It was always an issue for me going over there because I have family over in Italy, and we would go over like a lot of summers when I was a kid. And I've gotten a little bit less picky now. Like, I definitely eat more seafood now than I did when I was a kid. But it was always like something for me as a child. And my father, who grew up in Italy, will eat literally anything, and he loves all the seafood. And so I was always a kid. I'm like, man, where's the pasta everywhere we go? It's a seafood restaurant. And I feel weird not ordering the seafood when I was a kid. So I always found that it's like, you don't expect how much seafood there is over there.
Oh, I'm with her, man. I hate seafood. I'm very picky. My mom's is a chef.
Yeah, I'll be, I'm the person. Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's a chef, and like she would bring home seafood all the time, and I would be so picky with it. And my mom would be like, "Why can't you eat it all?" And I like my salad. I pick out all the onions. I hate raw onions. But I'll eat like fried onions or like it's so weird. I'm very picky when I eat. Like I don't like avocados. I don't like the texture.
Oh, I love them.
I can't eat it. I just don't like it. Doesn't settle in well.
Oh, wow.
I'm exactly like you. I'm very picky, man. Like I'm like you, like very bad. It's with seafood, I'm with you. I ate shark before. Shark's not bad.
Seafood is a hard no for me.
But
seafood is a hard no for me, but I definitely got better with time. I feel like in college we had a chef where I lived, and I used to be really picky with vegetables, and I'm much less picky with vegetables now. And I like to try different things now, but I would say seafood is the one thing I don't explore.
I'm with you. I salute it. Fish is a sticky topic. Yeah, big time. Like smelt. Do you like smelts?
What is that? What
is
smelts?
What?
Smelts.
I don't even know what that is.
Smelts. They're like small fishes. Like you normally go fishing for them like in like November.
Like sardines or something?
No, but they're called schmelts. Like, you guys never heard of that?
No.
Oh wow. How about shamaruk?
Salmon.
Oh, yeah.
She's heard of salmon, Jerry.
How about shamaruk? You like shamaruk? Or you don't know what shamaruk is?
You're stumping me as well here, Jerry.
No.
We need to give you like your own food show.
Shamaruk is snails. They're like snails.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
It's dialect. That's what it is.
Oh, okay. I don't know your Lazio dialect. So something I'd love to get the rundown on, Kelly, because I know shortly before we started the show, you had gotten home from training, and you talked a little bit about like the goalkeeper stuff, but walk us through like a day in the life of training. Like how rigorous is it on a normal day, and how do you guys get prepared for game day?
Yeah, our weeks have been pretty similar so far. Every week looks about the same. We typically get 1 to 2 days off, depending on when we play. We've had a few injuries on the team, and so they, obviously try to give us 2 days. And then, so, assuming we have, I don't know, Sunday or Monday off, or Monday, Tuesday, then the next day we'd have 2 a days. So we, have a morning practice, get home, eat. Then we typically have film around 3, practice again at like 4:30, and then we go home, have time to eat dinner, and then the next day we go again. Then on the second day, we typically, which was today, we typically have training in the morning. We have a lift session in the gym together in the afternoon. And then the next day, so tomorrow I have a 1 a day. So we only train in the morning, and then, physio and treatment and things like that we need. Saturday this week, we don't have a game because it's the international international break. We are playing a scrimmage against the boys team, so the girls who are here are going to get some playing time just so that we can stay in game shape and just get some playing time. And then Sunday we'll have off, and then this week we only have one day off, so then we go again next week. But so it's a lot of two-a-days. Of course, there's a training in the morning every day, but then on top of that, there's a lot of film sessions. So today,
I think we might be losing the connection a little bit.
We're losing connection here.
Oh, apologies. But I think hold on, if Kelly can still hear us, I think Jerry, you might have wanted to get in one more, and then we'll wrap it up in a couple minutes. But yeah, I think the connection might be a little bit faulty now. I wasn't sure if it was my Wi-Fi, Jerry's, or Kelly's.
Yeah, we lost. We are losing her.
But for some reason today was like the craziest day. I had to open a bank.
Man, she's giving us great stuff too about training. I don't know, Kelly. I apologize if you can hear me. We lost the connection a little bit. Oh, I think it might have cleared up a little bit. Are you there?
Uh-oh.
I think we might be on a little bit of a delay now.
I'm back.
Uh-oh. Oh.
I think she might be signing out and signing back in. Unbelievable information. Hopefully she can get reconnected so we could say a proper goodbye. But I mean, it's not often, Jerry, we get to receive insight like that on what it's like to go through professional training sessions. I was so fascinated to hear her talk about what it's like to go up against penalty kick takers and the like. So some pretty fascinating stuff. She's back. Yes. Well, and we're not going to take up too much more of your time. I think, Jerry, if you had anything else you wanted to ask Kelly, and then we'll say a proper goodbye after that.
Well, I misread the schedule because I didn't know you had Sampdoria first and you're on a bye. And after that, you had Lazio because here I am thinking that you guys are playing Lazio next weekend. But
he wanted to talk some trash.
No. I won't do that to you. You're honorary. I don't. You're too nice. I can't talk shit to you, man. And because you're over here, I'm over here. If I had guys like Cliff on right now, like we normally do, I normally shit talk him. A, because he's a Juve fan. B, it's just because it's Cliff. But no. I guess closer to the game we can dissect that. But I guess there are Napoli fans who are listening to this. How would you assess Napoli's season and how are things going for them? And I guess like where do you see like the club doing this season?
Men's or the women's?
Oh, men's or women's, Jerry?
Oh, sorry, women's. Oh, who cares about the men?
Okay. No, because we have been talking. We're trying to get to a men's game. That would be so cool. And we haven't had the chance to, but I would be so excited because they're doing so well right now. So that would be nice. I'm here, so might as well, right?
It's true. No, I'm more interested about your season, though.
Yeah.
This is about you, right?
So
the men's get enough attention. I think women's football doesn't get enough.
That's not wrong at all. No, our season. Difficult question, I would say, because we're kind of in a tough patch right now. The Coppa Italia game was really important for us. We needed to. It was a game that we really wanted to do well to, score a lot of goals and just a game that we could have used to really build our confidence for the Sampdoria games and Lazio games, because those are games that we cannot afford to lose. These are games that we absolutely have to win, because all of these teams are like right below us or right above us. And so ultimately the team that wins passes the other team, we have been in a situation where all of the first games in our season have been against, typically the top teams, AC Milan, Juventus, Inter, Roma. So we had a very tough beginning of the season. We still managed, to take out 4 points out of this. This is the first time that like we really are starting to get some of our players back, because we've had some, injuries that have been dragging on for a while. We just got one of, our top players just got her visa, Soledad from Argentina. And so that's a huge piece for us. I think we're just, finally putting all the pieces together. Obviously, it's hard mentally because we have so much talent and we know we can do such big things this season, but we haven't gotten the chance to do that yet. But I think this puts us kind of in a good situation because, we know we have the talent. We know what we can do. We work hard, all of that. So now it's just like doing it. So it's not like we don't have the talent and, we're lacking some key players in some positions. We have that. We just really have to put it all together. And I think this comes with having a brand new team. Having so many players who are new to this team is obviously a challenge. But I think that, we're really going towards the right where we want to be. And we're really taking, putting everything together and working hard. And just, I was, talking to the team the other day and I was like, we really just all need to believe in it 100%. And we really have to give our all into this. Like if one girl doesn't believe in it, it's simply not going to work. When you go on a field, even the players who aren't playing, you have to, fully believe at 100% that we can do this, we can win this team, no matter if it's Juventus, Lazio, it doesn't matter, we all have to believe and we all have to work together and just see the end of this. And so I think, it's exciting that like now we get to play big games that we know we can win. I just hope that it's all going to work out. Obviously it's very important. So this is, the time will tell.
Well, guarantee we went for you guys. Lazio's so bad this year. Lazio's so bad. Like, oh my God, they are dreadful. They were so good last year in Serie B. They got promoted, and this year they only have a win. They fired their manager. Probably will get rehired because it won't probably last with the second one they just hired. I don't know too much about him. That's the case. You bring him in. If it doesn't work out, you're not going to hire a third manager. You're going to go back to the previous manager still under contract. They go back in. It's going to be the same thing. That's a guaranteed 3 points for Napoli. I think that.
Wow.
Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Oh yeah. We played them. We played them in the in the preseason, and we tied 0-0. I'm pretty sure it was a tie game, and they came out and they surprised us, and so it's surprising that they're not doing so well. I'm not sure what's going on in their team because obviously I don't know anyone there, but it's very tough coming from Serie B and then trying to compete. I know Napoli had a lot of issues last year as well, so it's always really tough just to make that step. But I'm excited to see like if we can get the 3 points. That's what we need. I'll take it.
I don't look at preseason. So my mother-in-law is a big NBA fan, and prior to yesterday, and you're from Canada, so you'll know what I'm talking about. She was so hyped up about the Raptors season opener. Oh my God, it looks so good in preseason. And I said to her prior to this game last week, like, when you go play regular season / Serie A season, you're playing with top elite players. You're playing with the best 11 starting. You're not playing with, no disrespect to anybody, your average player mixed with some of your best players. Mm-hmm. Like you're playing the best now. So with Lazio, I think that it's a big shock because they are out of their class in Serie A right now. And I don't know what the investment's like for their team, what they've been able to purchase. I don't put enough time as I like to, but the only person who has really stood out to me on Lazio is this girl Anderson. I think she's like really young, 18 or 19 or something like that. She's a forward, and she's been really, really good. Other than that, I don't know anybody else on the team. And I'll also say, I mean, you can elaborate if you want. I just think the coverage on women's football is disgustingly poor. It's disgustingly poor, and that people like so many Napoli fans would love to watch your games, and to get a stream, to get a live feed is like a miracle if you're even to get something. Me as a Lazio fan, like as I said, I was able to watch Inter versus Lazio earlier in the season because it was on the Inter channel. And if you have like the zone Italy, they have the Milan channel and the Inter channel, and you are 100% going to be able to watch women's football. Other than that, it's impossible. And I just think that they need to do a better job worldwide. I don't want to just say in Italy, worldwide, that there has to be a better understanding, a better everything about women's football. Even in Canada, I think they're starting to slowly put in programs, but still not enough to help women grow their game, become a better player, even for club in country. So like it took what, over a decade for men's football to get better in Canada. And like that, who would have thought that men's football would have been ignored in Canada as well, right? So
no, absolutely. I think, there's been so much progress that has been made that I have to recognize. Like just, this year we've had the opportunity to watch a lot of the Women's Champions League because they're all on YouTube now, which this is amazing because, I'm someone who loves watching the Champions League, men's or women. And the last years, it was so difficult to find these top games. And, you're talking about Lyon and Barca playing, and it's like, why can't I watch this game where all of the best players in the world are playing together? And this is like the biggest game of the year, So now it's great that we have that opportunity to watch these Champions League games. But it is very frustrating not having that coverage because, it's something that is so important. Especially, we just went through COVID, right? And right now you still have like I know like when we went to Rome, you had to like show a COVID test and things like that. So there are restrictions. It makes, things harder already. So then if there are already these complications for people to come see the game in person, you would have assumed that they would have upped their, just the screening time and the exposure. But that didn't necessarily happen. And so it's definitely frustrating, but fingers crossed that it keeps improving. There's been so much improvement in the women's game overall. And so I hope that it only goes up from here. But it is difficult, when we have so many internationals on my team, girls who are not from Italy. And, a lot of them are like, well, my parents couldn't watch the game, when everyone wants their parents to watch the game or their friends and, girlfriend, boyfriends, whatever. And so it is difficult. It is frustrating. It's just we all hope that it gets better. We don't know, what can we do? We speak about this, we have a lot of girls on the team who have a lot of followers and who have all of this exposure. And so, these girls try to say something and have a voice. For example, the field, another situation that would never, ever, ever happen in the men's league. When we played the Coppa Italia game at Chievo Verona, I have never played on a field so bad. Oh. The turf was, there were lines in the turf. The turf was like lifted up. It was a nightmare for anyone who's ever had a knee injury. Talking for myself, I was horrified in the box because I was like, if my cleat gets caught in this turf, like there's no more ACL. And, a lot of girls took videos and pictures and made tweets after and were like, this is unacceptable. How are we, a women's team playing in Serie A and we are playing on this field? It was basically like playing on carpet. It was so hard. It was just awful conditions. And we were saying in the locker room, this would never be tolerated for a men's team. Never, ever, ever. And so why is it acceptable for us to play on this field?
Well, it's funny you say that because Maurizio Sarri on Lazio has been talking about how bad the pitch is at the Stadio Olimpico as well. He's actually discussed about frequently that the pitch is not maintained right. I guess it's because having to play multiple games on it and they're not maintaining it, but that has been an issue at the Stadio Olimpico. I know that, but I'll end it with this for you. I would say another thing that I'm going to elaborate earlier to the show, and I'll give you one more reason why why Buffon is a better player than Donnarumma. just to hype it up for you. He was loyal to Juventus, and he stayed loyal throughout his whole career. And I don't think money became a factor in becoming distance. Now, I know Juventus is rich or whatever, but they went through hurdles in the early 2000s where they weren't as elite as they are in the last 10 years. You know what I mean? They went through their scandal and all that political crap. I don't want to get technical into that stuff. But at the end of the day, Donnarumma, I think, ruined his legacy as a Milanisti. and could have been a much better goalkeeper had he stayed true to Milan. Buffon never got really. He stayed true to Juventus, and that was it. Juventus was his blood, and when he left Juventus, he left for club reasons, not for personal reasons. And the first time he left, he went to PSG. Was a starter, so it wasn't like it was a mistake. He left, went to the Champions League, whatever, came back, and basically this time played as a backup. Now he's in Parma, I like that decision because he's going back to his roots, where it started. So I think that for that reason, I appreciate players who do not always choose the money and go with the loyalty of their club. And for that reason, I'll always say that Buffon will always be better for that reason.
Jerry throwing out the
I really wish that.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
No, don't be.
Go ahead.
I really wish my roommate was here right now. She just flew to Sweden today for the weekend, but she is, a diehard Milan fan, and she has this nickname for Donna like that. And I'm like, so I really wish she could be here to give you her thoughts on that, because I hear it all the time. As soon as we see him on TV or as soon as someone brings him up, she always has a comment about him.
No, I'll never bash
the
guy.
He wasn't loyal.
You know what? I'll never bash the guy, threats or anything like that. You know what? He made a personal decision. It's tough. You're in the media. I just think that the best way would have been like last year. I'm gone. Either give me $7 million or whatever you want. You can't meet that. Okay, goodbye. Don't go back and forth like a yo-yo and make yourself look like a fool. But I got some rapid questions, and I like to apologize to the Italian. I always get his podcast wrong. Nima's. The
Italian football show.
The Italian football show, and I'm going to steal a chapter out of their books because, and I apologize, Nima, because we don't often get a person such as Kelly, an elite player, and status like this. We normally get the scrubs like Cliff, but how do you feel about pineapple on your pizza? Yes or no?
No, I don't like pineapple. I'm picky, remember?
Okay.
Listen, we agree wholeheartedly. And listen, I love pizza and I also love pineapple. I just don't think they belong together.
No, I agree. I don't think that should be on the pizza.
Second question. And these are just questions from Nima's pod, and I hope Nima doesn't get mad. These are great questions he always asks his people. Messi or Ronaldo?
Wow. I can't believe you asked this. One of the trainers in the gym just asked me this today. He came up to me, he's like, Messi or Ronaldo? Growing up, I was a huge Ronaldo fan. I feel like that's a classic, little girl idol thing. But I don't think you can compare them. I think that Messi is insanely technical, whereas Ronaldo has these physical abilities that are like no other. And so to compare them would be not to give them like justice to what they're actually good at. They're such different players. One is more technical, one's more physical. And I think, they're both so amazing that people who compare them, like, don't actually give them credit for what they're actually amazing for. So I cannot take part in this debate. I think they're both amazing, and I think people who choose one or the other don't actually know, what soccer is.
I'll alter the question then. Fine, I'll alter the question. Messi or Maradona?
Messi or Maradona? Wow, I'm gonna go with Messi.
Okay.
I'm gonna get shot for this.
I go with Messi too. I'll back you up.
I was gonna say, be careful saying that in Naples. You might want to lower your voice when you give that answer.
This is dangerous. This is really dangerous for me.
Well, I tweeted out yesterday that Ronaldo is such clutch, and like hate him or love him, he always scores big goals, and people are like, "Oh my God, you're defending Ronaldo." And I go, I'll always be a Messi guy. 'Cause like you said, you grew up being a Ronaldo fan and the fangirl and all that. I grew up being a Messi person, and that was why I started to watch football, because the way he played. But I think a lot of people forget they play two different positions. So it's always hard to compare and contrast two players that are two widely different. But at the end of the day, a lot of people forget that they're generational players. Like I know everyone talks about Kylian Mbappe. We talk about Mbappe and Haaland, but at the end of the day, they haven't done it for 20 years. They haven't done it for 15 years. They've done it for a couple of seasons. And I know that they're generational talent. That is true. But they're not generational players yet for me that they have done it on a consistent basis. They need to do it and get to that level of what Ronaldo and Messi have done. So I do agree with you that a lot of people forget that we may not ever be able to compare the two like this again in such a long time.
Exactly.
So, and you have any questions? Any more rapid questions, Alex? Because do you like Nutella?
That's a great one.
I used to love Nutella until I found out that it's actually horrible for the environment, so I do not eat Nutella anymore.
Really? What? Whoa. I actually gave up Nutella. It's been over a month now. Why?
For a month. He's a recovering addict this time.
Why? What? Can you elaborate on this? Because I will go against Nutella from now on if this is a really good reason.
So it's about something about like the palm trees. They use like palm oil and things like that, and just destroying all the palm trees. And so it's an ingredient that just shouldn't be used. So no Nutella.
Oh man.
Oh, that's a simple answer.
Fair enough. We'll wrap it up on that note. I cannot thank you enough, Kelly, for taking some time. Jerry's dreams are crushed now with this Nutella stuff. Kelly, we can't thank you enough for taking some time. It has been our honor and privilege here to talk to Kelly Chiavaro. Enjoy the rest of your evening. We won't be strangers. Don't be a stranger. We'd love to get you on again sometime. Thank you so much, and best of luck in your fixtures coming up.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy we got to do this. We should definitely keep in touch.
I love it. It's been
you're free, you should come on again for Lazio versus Napoli.
I would love that. Let Jerry talk a little trash.
I would love to have you if you're free. I know that you're very busy with your training and everything, but there's a slot available for Lazio.
No, let's Napoli. Do it. Let's do it. Let's make it work.
That would be fantastic because I will do my research for that.
We'll make it happen.
Because I'll give a shout out actually to Stephen Moore of the Laziale. He runs the Lazio site and he does a fantastic job covering women's football. Actually, he does all the match reports. Well, credit to Apollo Hayes who does all the writing on the news, but he does a great job. Like they do match reports about the women's football. They keep up with the news of the managers, the match press conferences, everything. So they do a really good job and they give really good coverage in regards to that aspect. And it's really nice because the Lazio main Twitter account and the club in general does such a poor job of doing English sites. And that's where I credit a lot of other clubs like Juve, Napoli, Inter. Yeah. They do a really good job with their English content. And Lazio does a really crap job. I'll even give a shout out to Roma too, because Roma does a really good job with that too. And we're living in the 1960s still. But you know what? Good luck against Sampdoria. I will root for Napoli from now on because you're from Canada, so I will always root Canada 100%. 2, I'm very happy that you've been able to come on this show and you're very humble and very respectful, and I noticed that a lot of athletes, and I'm very open. Ask Alex. I'm not shy because you play for Napoli. I'm gonna treat you differently. Like I will, if you were say Messi on the show, I would treat Messi like no different. But like, point is that you don't act like you're on top of the world, and you're very humble, and you remember that. Yeah, you do play for Napoli, but you're no different than anybody else. You're no higher than anybody else. So that's very good that you keep that in mind. Like, and I noticed that by you that you don't change because your status is all, oh my God, I play for Napoli now, so I'm bigger than you. And I think a lot of these athletes do become like that. And let's say example, Ben Simmons of Philadelphia 76ers and NBA. You probably have seen the headlines if you've been following, or maybe not, of how he thinks he's bigger than his club. his team, and then those social medias become an image of yourself, right? And I'm very happy that you are a team player. You notice that you're very supportive of others. You've recognized what your parents have been able to do for you, and I respect that humbly about you. And lastly, I will choose Napoli because Ciro Immobile is Napolitan, and he is my favorite player, along with Sergei Milinkovic-Savic.
Sorry, I was still muted.
No, but seriously, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you next time on another episode of the Calcio Connection podcast. Ciao.